I had to address the video that was made the other day by What's the Numbers. I appreciated the young brothers doing their thing up there using my video because you know it's all content. But at the same token, they put at the end of it, Brother Black Just, was I calling him a snitch? Once again, I did not call Black Just a snitch. My statement was that while in the Beacon in 1991, facing 165 years to life for 6 attempts on New York City police officers, of which I was acquitted at trial, that I ran into an individual named Royal Hale. He was calling himself Muhammad at that time, but he's better known as Pookie to the Supreme Team. While we was in 4A together in the Beacon and he was fighting that case on the 4 Colombians that the Supreme Team alleged murdered, that he showed me Prince's indictment, which had 18 names on it and only 9 individuals was convicted. Now, what I'm saying is, I love the Black Just to death. That was my brother. I don't know what went on in the case, but I did see Bimmy and Black Just name on that indictment. The only one that can explain further is Prince Miller himself. Only one. But I found the video. Once again, these videos is from 2 years ago. So I want y'all to keep in mind that this is not nothing that I'm coming up with for clickbait content. I hear all type of nonsense coming about us old dudes. No, we telling you the truth so that you understand that the only 2 things that's guaranteed to you in the street is a long prison sentence or death. There's nothing else that's guaranteed to you when you living that lifestyle. So now we're trying to give back with our experiences by letting you know that all experiences are not good experiences. What I mean by that, if I experience something bad and I'm forewarning you about it, like for example, if you go 90 miles an hour down that block, you're going to run into a dead end and crash, then you should take my word for it. But a lot of times y'all don't want to take our word. Y'all don't want to listen to the wisdom that we have to offer you from experience. So therefore, right now, I'm going to go back to that video because this video is very important because it's broken down by an individual from the Southside that's going to tell you the whole case about Bimmy and Big Nose Troy, and he's also going to add in how the situation came about with Mark Pearson. So I'm going to let this play from the beginning, and I'm going to, interject here and there when I see fit. Show and prove that what I was saying is an actual fact. We're going to go through this little scenario right here where Bimmy is talking about the whole situation, the VAD, with E Moneybags and how the situation occurred with E Moneybags at the Coliseum on Jamaica Avenue when it was supposed to took place, alleged took place, and he seen Preem in the car and shot at Preem, but instead Black just got hit. You know, and everybody know the story of Preem when it took Black Just directly to the hospital, that Black Just would have never bleeded out. Okay? So once again, Bimmy gonna say how he was sitting in the office of Jeff Jam and E Moneybags came walking through, saw his office door was open, you know, and came into the office and told him, like, that wasn't meant for Black Just. But like everything else, you know that once something like that happens, because the dead is never known to return from the grave. And all the history of Islam and all the history of just life in general. So I'm going to start with this part right here.
I think it was after that Black Just got killed. Yeah, by accident. You know what I mean? I never spoke about this, but I'm in Def Jam at the time. I work at Def Jam. And I always knew, like, when you're in the streets, you gotta move around, switch cars, you gotta live here, don't live around this area, you know, so I already knew that. So I'm in Def Jam, I can't get into nothing, I can't, because I come to the same door that everybody comes through every day. So.
Okay, so y'all hear that, right? Bimmy says that when you're in the streets, you gotta switch cars, you gotta move houses, you gotta at different locations. And the only reason why I'm explaining this in detail, because as we continue with this video today, you know, y'all want to see why he had the pressure on him from the Young Guns to even sign that affidavit.
What I'm supposed to, you know what I mean? So I'm sitting in the office, and E Moneybags walk past, and he stops and come back and close my door. Now I'm off my desk already. I'm off my desk, and he came to me. He said, "That wasn't for just like that." He said that wasn't for just. And I just looked at him, man, and I said, "E, that is just. He's dead. He's dead." And he just looked at me, yo. Because at one point, me and he used to ride around Queensbridge, we were trying to work with Nas together. You know what I mean? So at one point, we were always together. Everybody, you know, Troy came for help. You know what I'm saying? These guys.
So you're here at one time, Queens, they was all together. You know, he rolling with Troy, E Moneybags, Nori, the whole, you know, Nas, Queensbridge mob, and somehow it turned into something else. So now we're going to listen to more of this exclusive interview coming from the part that's most important with what led Bimmy to even being involved with this case, based upon the police said that they had a confidential informant that was around. That's the only reason. Once again, make sure that y'all listen to thoroughly about how this whole situation took place with Big Nose Troy, Bimmy, and Mark Pearson. Why they stepped to him in the first place. Okay?
Well, I did an interview with Sauce Money, who was close to E Moneybags. And he said it was over a car. Right. E Moneybags was also running with Mobb Deep, Nas, and Nori. Right. The whole Queensbridge crew. And you know, a real crazy situation ended up happening in Queens, where I guess him and Supreme got into some sort of, you know, argument over some money, over a car or something like that. Over $1,000. Over $1,000.
You hear that? Over $1,000. Because it was a broad, I don't know, Gelda, something, I can't remember her name to the fullest, so I'm not going to try and say it right now. But anyway, she was the one that was doing that little scam with the cars, the tag cars for Preem at that time, and when E Moneybags found the legitimate spot out in Long Island that was willing to give him a whip with all the real credentials and everything for $2,500, he just wanted his $1,000 back. But Shorty said to him, like, yo, Preem said, can't get your money back. Now, before we go any further, I got another story with that same broad. And Allah bless the dead, those that return to the essence, a gangster from out there in St. Albans and Hollis area named Frenchie. See, all y'all that was back then, y'all know that the God is coming with the truth. I have no reason to cap. I have no reason to lie, boost anything up. I'm not doing this for no YouTube content. I'm doing this so that y'all could really understand the truth about people and their ways. Legitimate spot out in Long Island that was willing to give him a whip with all the real credentials and everything for $2,500. He just wanted his $1,000 back. But Shorty said to him, like, yo, Preem said, can't get your money back. Now, E Moneybags being a real shooter and a real live writer, he took it as disrespect. So now he had it out for Preem. And this is how the whole situation occurred that led to Black Just's death. So, like I said, this is where all things now is coming to pass about everything that took place back then. So, I just want to get to the meat of this and let y'all hear what this guy got to say.
Let's wait on one to answer the part two. Okay. What happened originally was allegedly Troy, E Moneybags, Uncle Nichols, Young Gun. Yeah. I seen the part. Listen, I seen the part that actually zip ass, bro. I seen it. All right, hold on. They put pressure on Bim. They shot up the mom's house, their mom's house, and his brother.
Y'all hear that? Troy and the Young Guns put pressure on Bim, shot up his mother's house, and I didn't even know him and Joe was twins. But as y'all listen in my other video, I say once again, when I was in Queensboro, the cat Eddie Lee, rest in peace, Joe used to come pick him up all the time. And the 5.0 with the, ball. Joe is Bim's twin brother. And like I said, when I was in Queensboro, Civ, which is Just Me's brother that was killed by Fat Cat for supposedly robbing one of his stash cribs. Raleigh, that I met a long time ago because he was going with this girl that went to college with me down at St. Aug named Elaine. So I knew Raleigh, Eddie Lee, all of us. Red, they used to mess with Tommy Mickens, my man Black Knowledge that ended up getting Smooth, the hustler, and Trigger, the gambler, managing them. All type of dudes that I could talk about from back then that was real. But I just want y'all to know the God don't be up here with none of that fake wannabe stuff. This is real live situations with people's lives. Used to come pick them up all the time. And the 5.0 with the, like, you know, that, like bar that run over, like how they ride out in California. So that's how, you know, I was acquainted with Joe, but I never knew that Joe and Bimmy were twin brothers. But in this one, you're gonna hear not only did they shoot up Bimmy's mom's house, but they also shot Joe.
They put pressure on them. They shot up the mom's house, their mom's house, and his brother. And they were angry at them because they found out through the rules of discovery, them was trying snitching and wrote a statement against them, implementing them against and why, the reason why they killed and shot the guy. So where's that statement at, though, brother? Where's that statement?
Wow. You heard that? They was angry at Ben because they found out he wrote a statement against them, you know, for the killing that they was involved with. So the plot. Troy and them found out that Bim had made a statement on them for the killing that they was involved with. Pay close attention. I'm going to rewind a little bit of this for you.
Implementing them against and why, the reason why they killed and shot the guy. Where's that statement at, though, brother? Where's that statement?
Wow. You heard that? They was angry at Ben because they found out he wrote a statement against them, you know, for the killing that they was involved with. So the plot thickens. Let's play that once again from the top.
And wrote a statement against them, implementing them against and why, the reason why they killed and shot the guy. Where's that statement at, though, brother? Where's that statement? It's on This Trip, the one he did on Saturday morning. He shows the whole and Billy's handwriting. The statement.
Whoa, another bombshell. As y'all been watching Zip with the Drip, remember he put that handwriting up there. But at first he wanted to say it was Bimmy, but he said, yo, I'm not completely sure, but if anybody knows Bimmy's handwriting, you know, you can compare this. But this guy right here, you know, on this Timeless History channel and getting my man from the Southside, he's telling you that it was Ben's handwriting.
That's one. So what happened was, Bimmy, you know, when your mom was in danger, your mom's house got shot up, and your twin brother got shot up. Your brother's not afraid of nobody. You know what I'm saying? What he did was, he said, it's not worth it. And he went to Troy's lawyer. That's why he admitted on Mikey B show. I went to Troy's lawyer and wrote an affidavit.
Whoa. Here we go with more incriminating evidence to break down this whole affidavit situation. Okay? So after his mom's house got shot up and his brother got shot, then he begged and said, oh, I don't want no more problems with these young gunners. They for real with their situation. They bringing me to business. So I'm willing to go to your lawyer, Troy, Big Nose Troy's lawyer, and sign an affidavit to get y'all off the hook. This is totally amazing. God in them streets. Y'all better subscribe. Y'all better make sure that this one get at least 1,000 or better views, because I'm breaking this down all the way. Let's take it from the top again.
no. That's part one. So what happened was, Bimmy, when your mom is in danger, your mom's house got shot up, and your twin brother got shot up. Your God's not free to nobody. You know what I'm saying? What he did was, he said it's not worth it. And he went to Troy's lawyer. That's why he admitted on Mikey B show. I went to Troy's lawyer and wrote an affidavit. He wrote an affidavit saying he wasn't in the park. Contradicting his first statement that Troy's Moneybags and young guns got on something.
Y'all hear that? Bimmy turned around and went to Big Nose Troy's lawyer and recanted his statement by saying that he wasn't in the park. They had so much pressure on him right then, you know what I'm saying, that he was willing to do anything to get that pressure off him. So this is where this whole affidavit thing comes in that, boy, I know Bim, you know, I'm not trying to be clowning you, bro, because this is a really, really serious situation. And, you know, I don't like it, you know what I'm saying, because we all home team. We all, you know, the old official OGs, you know, like my man Zip always say, BQE, all day, every day, Brooklyn, Queens Expressway. We make it happen. But the thing is, right now, is that this whole thing, and they saying, you know, like, you've been a confidential informant. Let's get to it. Let's get at that. I'm going to give Zip his props for this. Let's get to that.
And he went to Troy's lawyer. That's why he admitted on Mikey B show. I went to Troy's lawyer and wrote an affidavit. He wrote an affidavit saying he wasn't in the park. Contradicting his first statement.
Remember, this dude that's telling this story is from the Southside. And the way that he has this information is letting you know that he was probably a part of the Young Guns. This is why he knows what took place word for word. Let's get to that. Accept his props for this. Let's get to that.
And he went to Troy's lawyer. That's why he admitted on Mikey B show. I went to Troy's lawyer and wrote an affidavit. He wrote an affidavit saying he wasn't in the park. Contradicting his first statement that Troy's Moneybags and young guns got off the hook. Yes. Because that's a figurative statement. If the witness, the CI is saying, I'm seeing and heard everything Troy and them shot the goal, but then the CI recants his statement and goes to Troy's lawyer. I can't hear you, bro. Nah, I ain't seen nothing. My name is Billy. I ain't with it. I don't know what you're talking about because his mom was suffered threats. They shot up his mother's house on Foreman.
Oh, okay. See, this guy's from Southside.
And they shot up his brother.
He's from Southside. See, this man's from Southside. This man, I told us he's black, that you from Southside, bro.
Yo, hear that? Official. This is an individual from the Southside that's giving the whole script up, play by play, on why this whole situation came about. And if you understand it properly, the only reason why the police went to Bimmy off the rip was because he was already a confidential informant. And they found out that one of their confidential informants was out there. And he made the first statement incriminating individuals, but then when they started putting pressure on him, started shooting up his mom's house on Farmers Boulevard, popped his brother and everything, now the whole equation changes. Because on some real gangster shit in the streets, yo, man, you violate and go shoot my mom's crib up, shoot my brother, it's wrong. Anyway, I see you now, your family's in jeopardy. Because we wasn't about the women and the children and people that really didn't have nothing to do with it. But when you start to make moves like that, everything is off limits. You know, once again, let me go back to my lingo. You know, ABG. Anybody can get it. And that's how the young guns was living it. So once again, let's hit them one more time.
Hey, see, this guy from Southside. He's from Southside. See, this man from Southside. This man, I told us he black, that he from Southside, bro.
No, hold on. So, what it was, notice Troy, E Moneybags, none of young guns, all charges was dropped because their lawyer said the CI changed his statement and my lawyer had a copy saying he wasn't even in the book.
You heard that? All charges was dropped because the CI is willing to recant his statement, his original statement. This is why Bim said, I went up to Troy lawyer's office to sign the affidavit. David, why would you be going to somebody's office to sign an affidavit, but yet you don't have nothing to do with nothing? How did you even get involved to that extent? It's got to be a reason for everything. Nothing just happens out of the clear air, as we say. Let's get back to this.
He cleaned young guns because they threatened his family.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
Okay.
Y'all heard that. He changed his statement, and he also said the reason why he...
Living in this computer.
I can't hear you.
You can
Go ahead and come back in. Go ahead and come back in.
This guy wants to do with them. And yo, you clean young guns, you clean me, man. Cause yo,
Back in.
because their lawyer said the CI changed his statement and my lawyer had a copy saying he wasn't even in the book. So that's how they got up the hook. He cleaned young guns because the CI, and they stopped his brother.
He's from Southside. See, this man from Southside. This man, I told us he black, that he from Southside, bro.
Hold on. So, what it was, notice Troy, E Moneybags, none of young guns, all charges was dropped because their lawyer said the CI changed his statement and my lawyer had a copy saying he wasn't even in the book. So that's how they got up the hook. He cleaned young guns because they threatened his family.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
Y'all heard that. He changed his statement, and he also said the reason why he was changing his statement was because the young guns was threatening his family. This is outrageous.
Now,
Can you hear me?
while you're living in this computer,
I can't hear you.
you can
Go ahead and come back in. Go ahead and come
because
back in.
this guy wants to do with them. And yo, you clean young guns, you clean me, man. Cause yo, I'm doing a lot of this. I'm doing many years in jail. You clean me.
That's Mark Percy, the first individual that zipped with the drink, came out with the paperwork. And this is where it all go back to the DD5 with the police, the investigation, and everything else. So my man is saying like, yo, you got the young guns off. Why don't you just sign an affidavit? Because they won't be able to throw everything out based on the primary feces that the snitch, CI, undercover, all those in the above, packaged into one person named Bimmy, now has to recant his statement. So if they got to throw it out for the young guns, E Moneybags, Big Nose Troy, and the other individuals, then that's enough merit for him to get his case thrown out. But why he don't get his case thrown out? Because Bimmy gonna say, yo, I don't know you, homie. Wow, this is really, really off the chain, y'all. I never thought that I would ever hear something like this, but it's the truth. Let's go.
Please, yo, God, just clean me, man. Cause, yo, I'm doing a life sentence. I'm doing many years in jail. Yo, clean me. Cause you used it. And then he said, I don't know you, though. Because, remember, he didn't know the Brooklyn guy. He said Brooklyn. What Brooklyn? He don't know the Brooklyn side.
Y'all heard that? He said, I can't clear you because I don't know you. I don't know the Brooklyn side of the Young Gunners. Huh?
Man, just clean me, man. Cause, yo, I'm doing a life sentence. I'm doing many years in jail. Yo, clean me. Cause you used it. And then he said, I don't know you, though. Because, remember, he didn't know the Brooklyn guy. He said Brooklyn. What Brooklyn? He don't know the Brooklyn side. He only know Young Gun side. He cleaned them because he threatened his family. You understand? The Brooklyn dude is begging because he want to get out of jail, obviously. Yo, fight up for me, yeah? Yo, fight like, nah, you got on everything, right? Like, yo, your eyes went out on everything, so I can get out of jail too. That's why I'm begging.
You hear that? Shout out, because the individual that's telling this story is on Harlem Legends platform. So y'all could go back and probably dig that up and find the original one with the interview with this brother from the South Side. Let's continue. All the dude, Mark Pearson, is saying, yo, man, all you got to do is act like your eyes went, blank, and you didn't see nothing. And now I got to get out of jail card free, too. Bimmy, you should have helped that man. You should have helped that man. And then all of this would have been swept under the rug. But guess what? It didn't need to be swept under the rug. Because now we understand it had nothing to do with you worshiping the God, that mystery God up in the sky, or anything else in us proclaiming that we God in the flesh, and you the only reason why you stayed out and didn't go in is for your love of your Christian God. And that's where it originally started with me and him. Because as long as y'all ain't talking some false information about the 5%, then we ain't got no problem. But see, Bimmy got up on that and said, God be, Baby Wise, Prince, Supreme, other people that was righteous or part of the 5%. And at that time, let's remember one thing, a lot of y'all don't know that before Preem went full blast, because our nation, since I got here in 1976, and before that, has never condoned the selling of any type of drugs. But especially when I came into the nation, that dope was outlawed. So before Supreme went to go into the game full blast, he gave up being a 5%er on the level that we was on 5%, being 5% and still going to parliaments and everything else, because he knew he was about ready to sell that destroy, that boy, that dope, that heroin, And another individual that's well known, if you watch the documentary of Freddie Myers was the first one. His name was Ibn back then, a 5%er. And he went to our Father, Almighty God Allah, and told him what he was about ready to do, and he put his flag down. Because we was taught as young 5%ers, if you're going to do wrong, take that universal flag off, because you are not representing what our nation is about. So we're going to continue. We're going to get it in, because a lot of y'all be thinking individuals is just up here trying to, get clout and all that, and it ain't got nothing to do with that. The truth is the truth. And I got nothing against that other than, you know what I'm saying, I believe there is no mystery God. And we've searched for that mystery God for trillions of years and was unable to find him. So this is real life. Stop trying to use religion. Stop trying to use coaches. Stop trying to use anything other than you made these type of choices, my man. And you made these type of choices knowing that you're breaking the rules. Let's finish this out.
I don't know you.
I get what's going on.
He's doing a plan for the Supreme Court. And the court, he's trying to get out of jail too. But Bimmy only clean.
The other nigga,
They blame his family. Family, brother. Everybody.
I see what's going on. And that's why he signed the affidavit. Hold up. He signed the affidavit to get E Moneybags and try to hold it up out of trouble. But this one guy now is trying to get out and he can't get out. So
They blame his family. That's why they let him out of prison for 3 years. You know what I'm saying? He was for a payroll. He could see out.
Salute.
And he knew that he was in the park. And they said, look, write a statement because these dudes killed somebody and we heard you was there. Write a statement. He wrote a statement in his own handwriting. I saw it.
Oh, Lord, that's damn it. That's damn it. Yes, sir. I hear you.
You know what? On the side, everybody said all of us not safe. Because this dude was a CI and we was cool with dude. We didn't even know he was not class, so none of us safe. We all got to check out paperwork.
Wow, this is really crazy. They said, yo, we all got to check out paperwork. We didn't know this dude was a CI. We didn't know this dude was Johnny Brasco. Wow, Ben. Wow. They calling you Johnny Brasco. We know what Johnny Brasco did. Wow. You know what I'm saying? And he was just real. Brasco, he just messed up by letting, I forgot who played the other actor. I want to say Sean Penn or whoever, that other cat. It wasn't Sean Penn, but he played in a lot of movies too. And, he was the undercover. And Brasco vouched it for him, But your situation my paperwork is even more critical than that. Because you was amongst the team, you was the big dog. That 165 to life. And here it is, when it's all brought to light, after all of this gangster or numerous, platforms and, eating off the situation, that you was a part of, that you didn't have to deal with the consequences. Because see, when you talk about telling and everything else, that's to avoid consequences. You can't avoid the consequences after you've been out there, murdering, robbing, stealing, drug dealing, killing, kidnapping, and everything else. And then now, when the situation occurs where you can have a way out or be planted for any and all other situations, like, how much information did you really feed these individuals throughout the years? So this is God in them streets. Once again, y'all better make sure I got 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 views. I'm ready to pop up on real platforms, or y'all pop up on my platform. Y'all need to show me my respect. Like I say once again, knowledge is the look, listen, observe, and respect. Respect is the biggest thing that there is, because all of this was created out of a vacuum. You know what I'm saying? A preem basically disrespected E Moneybags for $1,000. With that situation, even though they're two separate situations, it's still all involving these individuals that was called young guns. and they had Young Guns of Queens, and they had Young Guns of Brooklyn, and they was putting it down Young Gun style. So a lot of times you got people that got the names and they in the street and everybody know they making bodies and this, that, and the third. And then you got those that's under the radar, but they way more vicious. Because what it is, at least Puffy picked up that part, bad boys moving silence. So once again, y'all, this is God in them streets. I had to get right up on this, because like I said, YouTube did me dirty yesterday. They snatched my joint down, and then afterwards, you know, we all feed off of each other. So I see my man Glaze is about ready to come with something from Prince, you know, saying, oh, we getting ready. I hope we get Prince on the line to really blow this off the roof. Let's go.
Salute, I appreciate you, Southside.
But the bottom line is there's a part one, there's a part two.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Y'all don't know about that he clean Troy, E Moneybags, they never went to jail for the murder.
Mm.
Yeah, because he wrote an affidavit that got them out.
He wrote an affidavit saying, oh, I was never in the book. And the lawyer for Troy said, look, the CI is saying two contradictory statements. That's crazy.
Man, you actually just cleaned this up real good. Now, he actually just moved it out.
They got a good lawyer. Troy them had a good lawyer. It's your lawyer that looks deep inside the future.
Y'all hear that? Troy and them had a good lawyer. So by Bimmy recanting his statement, that's all the lawyer needed. Bang! I got y'all now. This is a conflict of interest, you know? And based upon that, and him signing the affidavit that he really wasn't there, and him being, you know, Mr. Music, the great confidential informant from Def Jam, you know what I'm saying? The police let it all ride underneath the table because at least we got one person out of the deal. We got Mark Pearson. But now my man is doing 35 to life and everybody else is walking free because Bimmy got them free. Why he won't get me free? Let's keep it all the way gully. Like I don't know who called in on me yesterday or whatever and got me this little copyright because, you know, I enhanced their product, you know, and remixed their product. But it's all good because y'all, it's impossible for y'all to stop guards in the street because God was really in those streets. And this is why I'm talking and I'm putting my life and my history all out on the line to try and help some of y'all young individuals that have this delusion that, you know, that's the route to take. All these dudes is showing you that was big time drug dealers, killers, murderers, extortionists, this, that, and the third. That somewhere along the line, you know, they ended up bowing down to the government, bowing down to what we would call, what y'all young cats would call nowadays, the ops. Because see, when we was growing up, we was on that revolutionary shit. So, you know, the pigs was our ops. You know, the oppressor was our ops. Yeah, we did things to one another, but like I said back then, I got out to Cyprus in 1968, you know, and all throughout America, everywhere that black individuals had to migrate into white neighborhoods, there was white gangs that was there and white individuals that did not want us in those neighborhoods. So therefore, we had to form our own gangs to protect us coming into their neighborhoods. Gangs was never created for us to fight and kill amongst one another. This is why it's so important for y'all to get the true knowledge of yourself, you know, and to understand and bear witness that the God's been out here doing this teaching. This is why all the gangs on the East Coast was crushed. The Tomahawk, the Jolly Star, the only other gang that went a different route was the Black Spades that became the Zulu Nation. So like I said, once again, this is God in them streets. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all subscribe. Let's get it in. Let's get to that. As my little man Zip with the drip said. Let's finish this out.
And the girls and pouring them use the street. The mother shooting up the mother house and shooting up Joe. That turned to a brother.
Salute, man. I appreciate that,
man.
man.
So guilty because, I'm telling those people that shoot my mom's house and they shoot up my brother. Let me do something. That's why he said my speed. That's why he said, me and my shooting went to the toilet. Oh my God, and then we didn't do nothing. That's why he said that.
I didn't say nothing.
It's white. Yo, put your mom in white. It's going to be white. I mentioned.
Yo, salute. I appreciate you for
No problem, man. No problem. There's a part one and there's a part two. This is the script for that statement with them everybody.
Say less, bro. Say less.
All right, y'all. So y'all got it. Full blast from God in them streets. I'm going to try to dress this up a little for y'all or whatever. And let's get to that. Let's get to that. Let's get to getting the God in the mix. What's up? Once again, this video was done 2023. You know, my Aelites called me from the desert, which in our mathematics is Queens, the old aces. It told me, Shy, you know, Bim gave us a call, said, tell the God to raise up. If he want an interview from me, he could get an interview. Not that I wanted any interview. I raised up because I respect my brothers that are my Aelites. And if an individual tell you, yo, that's my peoples or whatever, fall back. I'm going to fall back. But the bottom line is that once again, me knowing Supreme, Prince, and knowing them because we all was cut from the same cloth. You know, Prince and them went through it. The Clifford Glover being killed by the police 10 years old with his father out there on Southside Jamaica Queens. I went through it in 1976 when they killed one of my best friends, Randolph Evans, in Cypress Hills, you know, on Thanksgiving night or the night before Thanksgiving. And we went and did the same thing, riding on the police department. And I'm not telling y'all to do these things because these things happened in the past, but it's because of individuals like us that paved the way by going through all the racism with the police, the school systems, and everything else that now we're facing all over again nowadays. Always remember, he only got one tool to be able to defeat us, and it's called divide and conquer. So once again, you young brothers and sisters that's out there, take heed. Make the right choices while you young. Go to school. Get a trade. The main thing is keep from getting a felony. Because that F is not for felony. That F is for failure. And a lot of us, if we could rewind time, because we know time is the master of all illusions. Time is a metamorphosis that bring about change. So all we want to do is to see y'all make better choices and be better than we was and not fall victim to that death and destruction that's promised to you in the street. And with me saying that, once again, this is God in them streets. Hit the like button and definitely subscribe because I see numerous individuals out here. All they do is cap, lie, and lead the youth astray with things that they never did or participated in, but observed, was affiliated with because of their pops, their uncles, their older cousins, or their mans in them. Don't fall victim to peer pressure. And we're going to keep this thing moving. And for those of you who say, oh, we just get up here, go on my channel. Look and see. When we try and put educational things up there for y'all to take heed to, history and all of the science and everything that the black man, woman, and child has done throughout history, from the beginning that never began, the Alpha, the Omega of history. We are the foundation to all that. Get back to living like kings and queens instead of, you know what I'm saying? Like it was once from niggas to gods, and then we went from gods back to niggas. You know, stop lacking. You know, that's the only thing when you take the B off of black, you got lack. I'm not going to hold y'all no longer. I got plenty of content for y'all, and we're going to keep this moving. And I'm not involved with this to destroy Bimmy's character or anything like that. I'm just here to tell the truth, because those that don't tell the truth are the ones that help lead the youth astray. And with that, I'm going to say peace.